The moment people realize they don't need you, you lose all power over them. Influence doesn't come from love or respect. It comes from dependence. Those who can't live, decide, or succeed without you can never betray you. And those who can, will, the moment it suits them. Welcome to the 48 Laws of Power. Power is never given freely. It's held by those who control access to something essential. It could be knowledge, affection, opportunity, or even emotional validation. The world may call it manipulation, but in truth, it's survival. Dependence is the invisible chain that keeps loyalty in place long after words lose meaning. From the moment we are born, dependence governs every relationship. Children need parents, employees need bosses, followers need leaders. And as we grow, most people never outgrow this structure. They simply replace one dependency with another. Those who understand this pattern rise above it. Those who don't become bound by it. The psychology behind this law is both dark and simple. People fear uncertainty more than they value freedom. Give them certainty, even if it means their choices shrink, and they'll cling to you like a lifeline. They'll justify their dependence as loyalty, love, or trust, but underneath it all lies fear. Fear of losing the hand that feeds their stability. History's most powerful figures have mastered this dynamic. Rulers, mentors, and even lovers who understood one truth: independence is the enemy of influence. The more self-sufficient someone becomes, the less they need your approval, your presence, your protection. That's when the balance of power shifts, and not in your favor. But dependence isn't just about control, and it's also an art. The best practitioners of this law make others believe that staying close to them is a privilege. They provide value so carefully that detachment feels like loss. They become the irreplaceable center, the person whose absence would make everything collapse. And that's the essence of this law: to be so useful, so emotionally or strategically vital that no one dares to move against you. Because when they depend on you, even betrayal feels dangerous. In the world of power, control doesn't always come from domination. Sometimes it comes from the softest illusion, that life without you would be chaos. The craft of invisible dependence. Dependence is not created by force. It's built quietly, through patterns of need and reward. The most powerful people don't announce their control. They make others believe it's voluntary. They give just enough freedom for the other person to feel independent, while making sure every path still leads back to them. A great ruler, a skilled boss, or even a manipulative lover uses this technique masterfully. They identify what the other person values most: attention, validation, opportunity, or affection, and become the primary source of it. Once this link is established, withdrawal becomes the ultimate weapon. You don't have to punish someone directly. You simply take away what they crave and watch their loyalty return in panic. Psychologically, this works because of a principle called intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that keeps people addicted to gambling or social media. When rewards are unpredictable, the brain becomes obsessed with seeking them. If you always give, people take you for granted. If you give, then pull back, they chase you harder. That tension between pleasure and absence creates emotional dependence stronger than any physical bond. In politics and business, this technique is everywhere. Powerful leaders don't just command respect, they manufacture necessity. A great CEO makes his team believe no decision can succeed without his approval. A political strategist ensures his leader never feels confident enough to act without him. The trick isn't to enslave, it's to make your presence synonymous with stability. Once others connect your absence with risk, your control is complete. Even in love, this law applies brutally. Emotional dependence often masquerades as passion. One partner becomes the emotional oxygen for the other, giving validation, comfort, and attention in unpredictable doses. The weaker one becomes addicted to reassurance, while the stronger one controls the rhythm of affection. This is not love, it's psychological conditioning. But the danger lies in believing you're immune. The moment you think you control dependence, you might be the one being controlled, because dependence cuts both ways. If your sense of power relies on someone needing you, then you're just as trapped. That's why the most evolved practitioners of this law keep their own emotions disciplined. They build dependence, but never feel it. The world often praises independence, but in the real architecture of power, dependence is the currency. the one who can make others feel safe, validated, and unable to function without them, rules silently. You don't need to demand loyalty when people fear losing what you give. Greene's wisdom here is chilling yet liberating. Never make yourself unnecessary. The more replaceable you are, the faster you disappear from the throne. When freedom is an illusion, dependence is the foundation of every hierarchy, and history is full of people who mastered it so completely that even their enemies couldn't escape their orbit. They didn't need to rule by force, they ruled by indispensability. Take Niccolò Machiavelli's ideal prince. He understood that the most dangerous subject is the one who no longer needs you. The wise ruler, therefore, gives his followers enough comfort to stay loyal but never enough power to be free. He becomes the gatekeeper of every favor, every rise, every opportunity. People may hate him privately, but they cannot act against him, because to rebel would mean losing their own survival. The same dynamic played out centuries later under Joseph Stalin. He built a regime where every man, no matter how powerful, owed his position directly to him. He constantly reshuffled his ministers, removed anyone who grew too independent, and kept them guessing about their status. Fear alone didn't keep them loyal. Dependence did. Every privilege, every ounce of safety flowed from Stalin's approval. He made himself the single source of stability in a world he had deliberately made unstable. That's how real power functions. Not through domination, but through design. You don't chain people. You make the world outside you feel unsafe. Once that illusion is planted, they'll chain themselves. In modern life, the same psychological trap repeats in subtler forms. The boss who constantly saves his employees from crises he quietly creates. The partner who isolates their lover from friends so they become the only emotional refuge. The influencer who convinces followers that their identity, confidence, or belonging depends on constant validation. Psychologists call this dynamic learned dependence. When people stop trusting their own judgment because someone else has trained them to rely on external direction. It's not magic, it's conditioning. Control the source of certainty and you control the person. But this law also hides a dangerous mirror. In your rise to power, it's easy to create dependence without realizing you've become addicted to it. You start feeling uneasy when others grow capable without you. You start sabotaging growth just to stay needed. That's when the controller becomes the captive, dependent on others' dependence. Greene warns subtly, the powerful should inspire need, not crave it. Use dependence as a tool, not an identity. Make others rely on your strengths, but always keep your own autonomy untouchable. The truth is, freedom is often an illusion people trade for comfort, and the one who provides that comfort becomes their quiet master. The art of control without attachment. In the world of power, dependence is both weapon and weakness. If you don't learn how to control it, it will consume you. Robert Greene ends this law with a brutal reminder. You must make yourself so necessary to others that they cannot function without you. But he also implies something deeper. True power lies not in being needed, but in being untouchable. The most powerful people in history never begged for loyalty. They engineered it. They didn't demand obedience through fear, but through value. They made themselves the solution, the key piece everyone else required to keep their world intact. And once people depend on you for their success, they stop questioning your authority. But this law is a double-edged sword. When you create too much dependence, you risk surrounding yourself with weakness. People who cannot act without your approval slow your progress, drain your energy, and keep you managing instead of advancing. The goal isn't to enslave, it's to build a structure where your absence causes discomfort, not collapse. Psychologically, this balance is known as controlled autonomy. You give others enough space to feel free, but not enough to be independent. They think they choose, but the range of their choices is shaped by you. It's the same principle used by great teachers, leaders, and even parents. Create an illusion of freedom that always circles back to your influence. Consider Steve Jobs, a man whose genius wasn't just in creating technology, but in making his teams emotionally and intellectually dependent on his vision. They feared disappointing him more than failure itself. Even years after his death, Apple still orbits his ideology. That's the ultimate mark of this law, when your influence outlives your presence. But there's a darker truth underneath. The more you control others, the more discipline you must have over yourself. Dependency creates responsibility. If your empire is built entirely on others' need for you, then your exhaustion becomes their chaos. That's why true masters of power build systems, not slaves. Loyalty that survives even when you disappear. The key is emotional detachment. Influence, but never absorb. Build loyalty, but never seek validation. Let others lean on you, but keep your mind free. Because the moment you need their need, you've lost control. Dependence is power, but freedom is mastery. Be valuable enough to be needed. Be strong enough not to need. That's how true power endures. Silently, effortlessly, and forever. In the next episode, we'll dive deep into Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. For upcoming laws, make sure you subscribe to Psypedia and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the video.